Jim and Terry Show, coming to you as reliably as possible given the vagaries of an inconsistent hydro grid. Well, we're doing the best we can. Maybe I'll figure out a way to use a portable generator into the hobbit hole, make us independent of Hydro One. Well, be that as it may, I'm not complaining. I've got my coffee. I just have an empty seat for my good friend Jim, who usually keeps that seat warm and occupies it with good conversation. And sometimes we are on the same page, though he is a conservative most of the time and religious and devout most of the time, or all the time. Choose one or the other, or box A, box B. Box C is none of the above. What am I going on about? Well, let's take a look. I will go to the box of comments. Yes, the Jim and Terry Show have comments. I'm going to the box of comments, and I'll take a question or two. Here's one. This is from Stay Spiritual. Shout out to the guys who are always thinking about life and stuff, and from that vantage point of being 40-something instead of 70-something, there's a different view of life, and we need to sort of find ways of looking out for each other generationally as well. So here's a shout out to Stay Spiritual. The question is, I'm curious what you fellas make of the recent New York primary upsets where political outsiders systematically unseated the powerful, the multi-term Democratic incumbents who had the establishment's backing. In an era where politics feels so top-down and controlled by big money, how do grassroots insurgencies like this manage to completely buck the system? Is there a lesson for 2026? Yeah, well, I happen to be in the rah-rah, go-get-em kind of mood myself. I love Mamdani. I love what's going on in New York. I do think that progress is the way forward, that inclusion and big tent doesn't mean pushing people out, doesn't mean putting targets on them, either literally or metaphorically. And unfortunately, with ICE and Borders Customs Patrol, we've been seeing the literal rather than the metaphor too often. And that's a sign of the times, too. So, personally, the more progressive, the better for me. I do tend to think that people express themselves through the ballot. The power of the ballot is the key for democracies. Get out and vote. And when elections are determined by voter participation, you have a far healthier democracy. So go get them in New York. I'm a big fan of New York. I want to see the Statue of Liberty, as in Ghostbusters, dancing the dance of liberty, of freedom. I want to see that Ghostbusters feel-good vibe of New York when the New Yorkers take to the streets. Maybe they're going to take to the streets for Taylor and Kelsey. Wouldn't that be interesting? Well, here's hoping. After the Knicks, New York is a place for parties, it seems. So I do wish our American cousins, as they celebrate America 250. America 250? Didn't Trump change America 250, which was a bipartisan commission to look at celebrating the 250th anniversary of America? I remember their bicentennial, and we've got a big coffee book that celebrates America in the bicentennial year. That was 1976, I believe, and now this is 50 years later, half a century. Oh my goodness. That I can recall all this and recall the book on my parents' coffee table is stunning to me. America 250 was abandoned, cut apart and cut adrift, defunded, and now what we have is the clown show America Freedom. Freedom 250 is what Trump has rebranded it. And it looks like a cage match in the Washington Mall. It looks like deconstructing the White House, as in tearing down the East Wing. Freedom 250 looks like algae in the Great Reflecting Pool by the Lincoln Monument. Yeah, so we need change. And linking it in with the previous podcast on Jack Smith, it's time to take the big guy downtown. And if that links into the second statement from Stay Spiritual, Mike Johnson's recent statement, if we were to lose the midterms, heaven forbid, the Democrats, y'all impeachments, not even the big concerns, they will turn every committee in Congress to an investigative body to go after the president's family. Hello? Trump's been going after Hunter Biden. What the heck? Trump's been going after Obama. So Mike Johnson, screw you, Mike Johnson. Screw you, Mr. Christian dude. Your faith on your sleeve and on your little, the way you performative politics, Mr. Johnson. Yeah, forget that. It's long past the time of when they go low, we go high. It's time to say, I'm sorry, Michelle Obama. When they go low, we're going to have to get in the mud with them and take them down in the very mud that they used to throw at everybody else. So yeah, there will be mudslinging, and I'm hoping that there will be justice at the end, because if all these people who have enabled the destruction of the institutions of government, including Doge, including Musk, including Peter Thiel, including Pete Hegseth, including Tulsi Gabbard, can you believe what she's been up to lately? I don't know if she's trying to earn a place back in the good books of Trump, but my God, some insanity is being chucked about. It's the old hang Fauci rhetoric coming from Tulsi Gabbard. What the heck? These things just don't go away until they are prosecuted in the courts. Let the courts have their say, unless you believe that the courts are bought and sold too, just like politicians, which is a possibility. I'm not going to say that it's not. And that will take me to the next question, which is really what should happen. Should the Democrats get in, what should you do? Number one, get rid of the college, the Electoral College. It's a vestige of slavery. Get away from it. Number two, get rid of Citizens United, which has given independent, wealthy Americans the ability to sway elections by pouring buckets of money. Jim and I have often talked about this. Cap it. Make all your fundraising donations by small donor only. Individuals only, and cap it. $1,000 maybe per household. That's it. If you can't run your election on that, then you don't deserve to be a party. You don't deserve to win in an election. Keep the people involved in the process, and once you price them out with Citizens United, with putting in influence peddlers of the ranks of billionaires, you have lost your democracy. You need to get it back. So reform institutions, yes. How about reform the Supreme Court? It needs to be a balance. If you're going to allow people to practice their politics as a justice, you need to have a balanced opinion, left and right and center. And I think that should be a 3-3-3 court. 3 left by conviction or by political leaning, 3 middle as in non-aligned, 3 independents, and 3 conservatives, if that's what you wish. And the independents can hold the power if politics gets in the way of justice, which it shouldn't. What is justice is not justice for conservatives, or as Obama said, we don't have conservative Americans, we don't have democratic Americans, we have Americans. And I think they need to find that common denominator. In Canada, it's the same thing. Where are the Joe Clarks? Where are the Brian Mulrooney's willing to debate it all out and find common ground and forge alliances? That's the Canadian way. America could use some Canadian ideas, I think, to solve their problems. CUSMA is no go. Trump says he's not going to renew it. Okay, well, that puts us now on a timeline where you still have the policy in effect. He's just choosing not to renew it, and that's fine. Status quo is what that statement means, which means CUSMA stays in effect. It's not all of a sudden gone. But it does, all of Trump's tariffs have done one thing. They've woken up a sleeping giant, which happens to be little old Canada, with our little old, I don't know whether you were part of this at all, those of you are old enough to remember this, tying telephone books to our shins for puck guards. That's how we used to go and play shinny. Those were our goalie pads, tying the telephone book, because they were thick, so they could absorb the shot from a puck. But my God, what we did and what we thought was normal back in the day, Yeah. So these are some things that I think we can tackle. The debt is another thing. And when you're talking about debt, you're talking about Trump's debt being out of control because of military spending. So the old military industrial complex comes into effect here. I saw a YouTube short, a guy called Mr. Global, who I happen to enjoy. I'm trying to set the record straight for someone who's obviously make America great again, saying America's costs and America's indebtedness because of the money going to the U.S. military is to cover your sorry asses, me no questions, to cover people at Canada. Well, you might have a point to some extent, but don't get me wrong. When you look at that stuff, you say America was all about itself. It was about building bases all over the world. It was about its own projection of power. It wasn't to help anybody else out, necessarily. The Jim and Terry Show, signing off for now. Bye-bye.
It's complicated, this relationship I have with my morning coffee. It's from the way that I